Okay, working into some of our hip mobility exercises. So from a seating position here, we're going to work the hip flexor. So Anne puts her left hand back behind her, leans over onto her left hip, and then she's going to grab her right ankle and pull that back as far as she can, putting the knee down, the foot to the floor. She can then bring her right hand up onto the hip there. Now, as she contracts the glute there, rather than rotating through the chest, all I really want you to do is drive your hip forward. That's it, and you feel that stretch down through the front of the hip and down through the front of the thigh. So, contracting the glute, it's called reciprocal inhibition. As that muscle contracts at the back there, it releases the antagonist muscles, or the muscles that are responsible for flexing the hip, and allows them to get a greater stretch. So she drives the hip forward and back. Forward and back. Nice work. Okay, come around, same thing other side. So she'll move around, just so you can see what happens with that left leg. Pulls the leg back behind, knee into the floor. As she's got her hand on her hip there, this arm can go back further. So yeah, because you want to have a straight line from shoulder down to knee. Let go of your foot there, hand on the hip. Now as she contracts the glute there, drive the hip forward and back. Hip forward and back. And the aim is to try and get that hip almost further forward than the shoulder and the knee. So you drive it forward and back, feeling a nice stretch down through the front of the thigh. Good. A couple more of those. Once again, maintaining your breathing. Okay, come back to your start position, sitting on your bottom feet in front. This is called a 90-90 glute stretch. So what she's going to do is she's going to come into a 90-degree bend with the knee at the front, 90-degree bend, knee at the side of the body. This hand here comes forward now and provides a bit of support. The other hand on the ankle, sitting up long spine to start, and then just leaning forward over that front shin. I want you to hold that position and just breathe. Now just go as far forward as you can. You'll notice that Anne's maintaining as straight a spine here as possible, as opposed to just relaxing and flexing all the way over and bending her back. So there's no point in doing that, because then we're just working through the back muscles there, which we don't want to do. Let's keep a nice straight back and move from the hip. Now we're going to sort of do a bit of activation of these muscles as well. So the muscles she's using to hold that stretch, she's now going to use to push her knee into the mat as she sits up. Sit up. So you're effectively pushing the knee away from the body, using those muscles. So we give them a sort of new range and a bit of a stretch, and then we introduce them to that new range by using those muscles and showing them that new sort of found range and support. After doing a couple of those, now she might be able to come down a little further. So she might be able to bring her hand further forward here, come down into a further stretch, big deep breaths once again. You can almost bring that left forearm down in front of the knee if you like. Nice work, hold there, really good range through that right hip. And then once again, push the knee into the floor, push up and away, and down, up and away, and one more. Very good. Turning around, same thing other side. So 90-degree bend, knee at the front, 90-degree bend with the knee at the side. Support hand forward, spare hand on the ankle, long spine, leaning forward over that front shin, feeling the stretch through the glutes on the underside. You don't want this knee to be too high, that's a nice position there. And just hold that stretch. Big deep breaths. Okay, push the knee into the floor as you sit up and away. So now you start to get a bit of activation through those muscles you're stretching once again on this side. We just go 3 of those. And then seeing if you can slowly come a little further forward, a little further down. You can bring that forearm down along the floor there, or sort of in line with the shin potentially as you come down. Hold. And then once more, let's push that knee into the floor. Good. One more. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to lie down on your back and grab your TheraBand, or you can do it with a towel or whatever you may have. Just bring your head down instead. Okay, we'll now work into sort of hamstrings. Grab your band underneath one foot, just around the sort of line of the sort of metatarsals there. Take a little bit of tension in that band and just lift that knee up or leg up as straight as you can with a straight knee. Now you can get a little bit of bend in it if you like, so bend your knee a little bit. It just takes a little bit of tension out of the sort of sciatic nerve through the back there, a little bit of that tension out. But if you feel as though you get a nice stretch of the hamstring with the leg straight, then that's fine as well. In that position there, big deep breaths. I just want you to focus on breathing deeply, maintaining a bit of a stretch through there. We won't go through any sort of advanced sort of mobility techniques at this stage. After you've got a nice stretch through there, I want you to keep your hips flat on the mat as you slowly let that leg fall out to the side. Now this knee can come out to sort of counterbalance a bit, but just hold it as long as you can, or as far down as you can without allowing the body to rotate. Once again, big deep breaths, nice stretch through the adductors. Good, nice deep breathing. And then coming back to your midline. Now we're going to go through a hip circle, 3 each direction. So take that leg down as far as you can, out to the side and up. And as you do this, see if you can do that without letting the body rotate. And just use as much tension in that band as you need. Really important to share the load between the muscles of the hip and also that band. If you were doing it just without, let's change direction, without the band, you find it's a bit difficult. So you need the band for the support. Down and around. And then once you come to the top, open out that band, put the other leg through. Okay, nice work. Into your hamstring stretch once again. Nice deep breaths. With each deep breath, sometimes after a couple, as you then exhale, see if you can get a little bit further and just challenge that range a little bit more. But sometimes with your stretching, some of the tightnesses in the muscles may be a result of another sort of dysfunction of the hip, so you may not get too much range through it. It's also about just feeling that stretch and becoming sort of, getting a bit of neural input into those muscles. From there, taking that band out to the side as wide as you can. Just watch she doesn't hit me. Okay. Once again, big deep breaths, trying to keep that hip down on the floor so we don't just rotate through the spine. Another deep breath. Come back to the middle. Okay, hip circle. Down, out to the side, and up. Good. Don't need to go so close to me. And up, good. And then change direction as you go down and around. Okay, let's go one more time that way. Okay, knees come down. Are you ready to move on to the next section? Nice work.